weakness to warrior mindset. Always on the harmonica. I'm always playing the harmonica. I'm always trying to learn new things. I'm always trying to push the envelope when I'm trying to play this thing. It's a great and fantastic instrument. Like when you whip this thing out and you start wailing on it, which, I'm progressing to that day. I can't wait till I'm like just up there ripping on it. A good bluesy harmonica solo. Like, when you hear one, you're just like, yeah, kick it. It's almost, honestly, I think it's better than a guitar solo. Now, I'm a Metallica fan, so, they have some good freaking long ass guitar solos, but the harmonica, you put your heart and soul into it sometimes. Like you can feel the energy, you can feel the emotion when people are like ripping on this thing, and just the notes when they bend, especially on the guitar when they go. That's why I also wanted to play the ukulele, because it has that nice warm sort of tone where it's just like, it gives you that good sense of feeling that, it's only 4 strings. You can only play so many freaking chords on it. It's only C, E, A, and G. So you got only so many chords on it. Obviously you got the high G and the low G, but they're pretty simple instruments. Unlike the guitar, which has 6 strings, or the drums that have like, the cymbals, the snare, and all that other garbage. I don't even know what all kinds of drums they are. Versus the violin. I'm pretty sure I mentioned the violin. Or the, I can't remember that one instrument I played, the clarinet. When I was a kid, I played a clarinet. I played it back when I was in high school, like middle school. And then I quit because I thought it'd make me gay, so I stopped playing. But the harmonica, no. Not the harmonica. No, that's a real man's freaking instrument. Because you can wail on that thing out in the woods, out while you're kayaking, out while you're sitting around a fire, especially while you're sitting around a fire. Campfire blues. That's a good shit. But the hardest part about the harmonica is just basically being able to hit the notes and not getting tired, like getting mouth exhaustion, because you wouldn't think, you wouldn't think that your mouth would get exhausted, but it's usually just the corners of your mouth, because you gotta hold that all mature, or that shape, to be able to hit those solid or those single notes all the time. And then once you can't hold that all mature, it starts to bleed out, and then you have 2 notes, which is called dirty harmonica. It's clean harmonica and dirty harmonica. Well, clean harmonica is just hitting them single notes. Dirty harmonica is just, letting one of the other notes bleed into. So if I'm trying to hit the 4 blow or the 4 draw and I have a, mouth fatigue, usually at the corner of the mouth, the armature starts to widen and the 3 hole or the 5 hole starts to bleed in. And, sometimes that makes it sound bluesy, but on certain songs, it's not that good. I mean, when you're just kicking it live and just messing around, which I like to do, I just kind of mess around a lot, see if I can put a tune together. Because at the certain stage I'm at now, as far as the Tomlin Harmonica School, it's bluesy. It's a 12-bar blues, but realistically, it doesn't kind of feel like I'm playing the blues. Because, I hear blues, because I listen to blues harmonica, and it just doesn't seem like I'm there yet, or I'm playing the blues. But everything has a season, and everything, comes in time. So the good about, or I should say the positive things about Tomlin Harmonica School is that it's very in-depth. The negative is it's very in-depth. You're asking how can it be both a positive and a negative? Well, usually the courses, like, you'll have a course and it usually, that one topic or that one area, you're supposed to practice for a whole month. Just on that one song. And you're supposed to practice on that one song and the certain techniques on that one song. Which is fine, because once you get the fundamentals down and they're ingrained, it's just like anything. Once you get those fundamentals ingrained in you and they become second nature, then you can start, branching out and start messing around. But getting the single notes down, getting the draws down, the vibratos, the slides, the glissandos, the tongue blocking, the what's the other one? Crap. I'll think of it before the end of the video. But it's just things like that. Like, then the overblows. That's not the one I'm talking about. The octaves. The tongue slaps and all that stuff. That's stuff up there. That's pretty advanced stuff. So, again, another positive thing, it's only like $20 a month. And there's a community. Basically, you record yourself on the song, and then you post it in the community, and the community kind of tells you, they gives you their feedback. There's also, an upgraded premium version where you can send your practice, when you practice these songs, you send them to a teacher and they tell you what you need to work on. But usually if you practice enough, I think you know what you need to work on. Again, right now I'm working on the trills. And the trill is just basically going back and forth from one hole to the next one. So it's just like, this is the 4/5 trill. It's kind of hard when you're like up at this like 6 blow, or you're down at the 2 draw, and you gotta go right up to the 4 draw and then start trilling. Apparently that's the best thing that everyone likes, is the trill. It's like that's the most famous. Kind of like the sort of the whammy bar on the guitar. I'm sure that's the 80s, but when the guitar goes, that's kind of like the best things that they like. So my future goals is to actually be good enough to get up on stage. I'm sure I said this in another video, but that's 2 of my biggest goals: to get up on stage and do a song in front of a live audience at Bluegrass on the Grass, and at a university or a college in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. It happens in July. with hundreds, probably thousands of people. Probably not thousands, but I'd say maybe two to 500 people at the most. You know, and that's you got to be locked in for that. Like, usually when I play at the gathering place, it's only about maybe 30 people at the most. And they're all a bunch of white caps. So, half of them can't hear anyways when I play. And then there's this freaking dickhead named Roger. I mean, bless his soul, but like, he seems to always single me out and give me a bunch of freaking crap or a bunch of shit. You know, it's always, oh, you need to practice, or, you know, you're messing up the band, or da-da-da-da, you know. And the worst mistake they ever did was gave him a fucking microphone. Like, you don't give people like that. Like, there's two things you don't give people. You don't give them, there's a couple things, so. A couple things is, you don't give a freaking retard a microphone, or you don't give them a megaphone. And the worst people that I wouldn't say the worst people, but the most people that are on power trips are the flaggers at construction sites. When you're driving down the road and they're doing road construction and they're waving the flag, or not the flag, but the stop sign and the, slow sign. Like, they turn it around and then they point to the lane at which you're supposed to go into. I'm like, no shit, dumbass. Where else am I going to go? Into the ditch? Like, or, they act like you can't read, so they got to stop. They put up this, stop. And I'm like, what else am I going to do? Speed through the thing? Like, people get so much power trips out of useless things. And that's why, because people don't respect them. And why don't they respect them? Because they're not in shape. They don't have six-pack abs, and they're not ripped, and they're not lean, so. But back to the harmonica, though, like, I was at the gym and I was sitting on the freaking massage chair, just practicing, relaxing, and somebody's like, yeah, man, that's really good. And I thought it was pretty mediocre, but again, like, someone that's never played the harmonica, they're going to give you props, be like, yeah, man, that's pretty good. When you know inside your head you got way much more practice. You have way more potential, and you got a long way to go. It's a journey. Learning an instrument is a lifelong journey. It's a lifelong skill. It's always something to get better at. Always learn something new. Always a new song out there that you want to try to push the boundaries. So I highly recommend that you start to learn to play the harmonica. Just because I'm a harmonica player. Again, it adds depth. It adds, levels to your character, your persona. A musician is always sought after, especially a musician that has six-pack abs and it's ripped. I know I keep going back to that, but that's pretty much the basis of my channel. To teach you guys, teach you gals, just to get better at being a human being, get more depth to your character, and just broaden your mind and open your experiences. And, I'm planning me a hike up a place called Pole Steeple. Hike up to the top of this mountain, nice view, sit up there, take some food, build a fire, cook some food, play the harmonica, relax, probably walk down, go to the lake nearby, do some kayaking, wail on this harmonica out in the middle of the lake. Good stuff. So don't be afraid to get out there and experience life. Get off the internet. Get off of social media. Just go live your life outside the phone, outside the digital space, and take in the world around you. There's a lot of beautiful trees and a lot of beautiful scenery out there. Lots of great things to do. So I highly suggest you start to learn the harmonica. Either way, you start with Luke at beginner to boss, or jump right into it and go to Tomlin Harmonica School. So, weakness to warrior mindset.